In this video, we will be discussing the top 9 challenges we find our clients have faced when setting up a mainland company in the UAE. Hi, I'm Kate from Connect Group. I'm a company formation expert. We at Connect Group have been helping people and organisations move to the UAE since 2016 to establish their businesses here. So it's a good idea to consider mainland company formation if you need the following things. 1, if you need to be non-restricted in where you can sell your product and provide your service, including all over the UAE, in every free zone and internationally. Number 2, if you're going to need a lot of visa quota or you expect a big growth in the company, the mainland is also a good solution for you because technically you have unlimited visa quota. You have to continuously apply, but there isn't any restriction on the number. Also, number 3, office space. If you plan on growing your business, then you want to be non-restricted in where you can have your office. So the emirate you set up your license in, you could have your office based anywhere there. So you could have it on Sheikh Zayed Road, for example, in Dubai, or you could have it in Deira. It's completely up to you. If these things aren't what you're necessarily looking for, then maybe you should consider a free zone company setup instead. So a very common mistake or challenge that clients face when setting up a company in mainland is when they have a corporate shareholder. And that's not the corporate shareholder itself, it's later down the line through the process. So you'll be able to set up the license perfectly fine, the establishment card too, but when it comes to setting up the labour file, which is actually part of the process that allows you to add employees on, the manager mentioned on the license should already have a visa. Now, the tricky part about this is, in order for that manager to get a visa, they need to open the labour file. So it's a vicious circle. Ways to avoid this would be to either outsource that visa temporarily while they open the labour file, or find someone who's already got a visa, such as a golden visa, in order to assist with that part of the process. Another challenge we find our clients face is that when they go to add employee visas, they haven't already opened the labour file, so they don't have visa quota available. The labour file itself comes with an inspection from the Ministry of Labour on the office space provided. This can take anywhere from 5 to 10 working days to be completed. So if you need to employ people immediately, you need to take that into consideration because there is steps to follow before we can actually get the visa quota to add on the employees. A thing we see a lot as well with our clients is that if they've been consulted by other companies, sometimes those companies won't inform them of additional fees that are attached to certain activities. So for example, in the mainland, if you want the activity investment in commercial enterprises, it comes with an additional 15,000 dirhams added to the license. Now, obviously you won't be aware of that if you look through the mainland activity list because it doesn't mention it, but this is why you need to speak to a consultant beforehand so you get all of the information and avoid any nasty surprises when it comes to the payment. Something else to be aware of in the UAE is something called a marketing fee. Now, this is directly related to your office space, retail space, or essentially your Ijari. What the UAE government will do is they will look at this Ijari contract and your annual rent paid. They will then take 5% of that annual fee and add it to the payment voucher for your license. Now, depending on the rent of your office or your retail space, this can increase that dramatically. So it is something to be aware of, otherwise again, you'll get a very nasty surprise. Some activities come with additional approvals, and these approvals also come with inspections on your office space. For example, if you wanted to do something along the lines of training of medical staff, you can have your physical office space. However, the DHA, which is the Dubai Health Authority, will come for an inspection on it. If you have an activity such as gold trading or precious gems trading, then you'll need a SIRA approval. Now, with SIRA approval, what they will most likely want you to do is they want you to have cameras installed in the office, a lockable door, and then a few other things on their checklist before they will put that approval forward and sign off on your office space. If you're thinking about setting up a mainland company in the UAE and want to avoid any of these challenges, then click the link below and schedule a free 30-minute Zoom call with me or one of my colleagues. When choosing the office space which is attached to your license, there's a few things you need to take into consideration. Number 1, when you open the labour file, you will initially get an inspection from the Ministry of Labour. Number 2, if you've used all your visa quota and you need to increase that amount, you will get an additional inspection from the Ministry of Labour on your office. Now, some companies just want to go with the cheapest option for this. However, when the Ministry of Labour comes for inspection, they expect somebody to be there in person to greet them, to go over what the company is performing and also justify why they need this additional quota. If you have the right type of office space, there'll be someone there to do that on your behalf. However, if you go for the cheaper option, this isn't always the case. So obviously when your license is based in Dubai, this also means your visa is based from Dubai, which means all of your appointments for your visa, such as your medical test and your biometrics appointment, will also be in Dubai. It also means that when you want to convert your driving license over, you do it from Dubai. If you buy a car and you want to register it, you also do it from Dubai. So where your employees are going to be living is also a very big part of where you need to plan your office to be and what jurisdiction you set up your license in. Because if most of your employees are going to live in Dubai, but your license is in Abu Dhabi, which means their visa is from Abu Dhabi, it means means they need to go to Abu Dhabi for all of those things. As per the current UAE rules, when setting up a mainland company, you'll only be able to apply one investor visa. If you have additional shareholders, they can go on the company as employees, but then you need to take into consideration that they will then also need to be paid a salary each month through WPS and sign up to ILOE, which is the unemployment insurance throughout the UAE too. After a year has passed and your company has been running, we can then try to apply for a second investor visa if required. Finding the right business activity in the UAE is really important, so please always read the activity descriptions. When looking for activities, you also need to take into consideration which activity group they're in. So when you're setting up a mainland company, you have the activity name, the activity group. If you have multiple activities you would like to have on your license and they're in the same activity group, you should be able to add them together automatically. If you don't, and let's say you have two activities in different activity groups, but they're very related, we can request for a special approval from the DED manager to get that put through. Now, that's not guaranteed it will happen, it's at his discretion, however we can try. If you want to also know what challenges to avoid in free zones, then watch our other video that we've already prepared.